Hey. It's like, what's up? One coach's opinion. And just remember, it's my opinion and not a fact. So, there's a lot of people, a lot of guys, a lot of girls, some girls, around, say, 18, 19, 20, between, say, 18 and 23. And you ask them about, what do you want out of boxing? What do you want to do? And a lot of them are like, well, I want to go pro. You want to go pro. All right, now here's the thing about boxing. It's possible. You know, it's not like basketball or anything else where some kid says, man, I want to go pro, and you're like, yeah, whatever, I don't know if that's going to be for you or what. Boxing is an open door sport. You got a few amateur fights. Some guys go pro with no amateur fights. But it's open door, unless there's some commissioner that just wants to be a jerk and don't want to give you your professional boxer's license. I mean, some people want to go ahead and make sure you're qualified, and some people just, hey, okay, best of luck. You know, see a lot of those out. So I say this to say, what is your plan on going pro? Because you gotta have one. And there's a few ways to do it. Now, you could build up your amateur name, win some amateur tournaments, maybe you just show up at some amateur tournaments, and you might get some eyes attracted to you, who you know and stuff like that, and you get people watching you, and you know, you might have, hey, look, man, you know, I like to work with your guy, blah blah blah, and this is how I plan on doing it, and this is what my plan is going to be, and that might work out for you. Or you might have nobody that really knows who you are and wants to help you out, and you have to figure out another way to go pro. Now, one would be a local show. First of all, you have to have a reason for somebody to want to put you on their show. Two reasons a person would want to put you on a show. You're either going to fight the person they already have signed, or they already have on a show that they're throwing, and they need somebody in your weight class, and they might take a fight with you. That's one way, which probably would put you on what they would call the B side. But there's nothing, there's no rule that says you can't win from the B side. Let's say that. There's no rule that says, hey, you can't be a B side fighter and win a fight. So that's one way. Another way would be, you know, you get in contact with say a promoter that's already throwing a fight, and you tell them, hey, look, I wanna go pro, and I'm willing, you know, to fight anybody you got for me and show you what I got. And they might put you up against one of their guys, and you beat the guy that they signed, and they might say, okay, well, I'll sign you. I signed him. You beat him. Or sometimes a guy might get you the fight on contingency that if you win this fight, you sign with me. And that's another way to get an opportunity. So really, remember this when you're thinking about going pro. Only thing you're guaranteed with going pro is opportunity. There's probably no promoter out there that's going to get you a guaranteed win. I know we've seen some shady decisions, and I know people say, well, man, you know, the promoter, that's the promoter's guy, and that stuff does happen. It might happen. But there's also times when the promoter's guy gets upset. The guy the promoter had faith in loses. You know, so that's the way. You take a challenge. I'll fight your guy. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, you know, will probably, I'm not going to fight him in his backyard. I ain't going to fight him here. If you have that attitude and you think you have your pro mapped out, well, I'm going to do most of my fights at home, and then I'll branch out after 10 fights. And then that's not how it works. You're going to take chances. You're going to take chances on people that usually, if somebody's investing in you, you got people that you're supposed to beat, people that you should beat, and then you have people that we hope you beat. And then you're going to get to the level of people that we want you to beat, but hey, they got a chance of beating you too. They want to beat you too. They're trying to build too. You know, it's rare that too many prospects become contenders without facing other prospects. That's a rare. If you got somebody that's backing you up, and eventually they would even say, hey, look, man, he ain't never fought nobody. And when they say he never fought nobody, I hate when they say that, because there's different levels of boxing, and I hate to call anybody nobody. For anybody that says, and I've heard this a lot, well, who has Tank fought? He ain't never fought nobody. That is such a disrespect to all the guys that he fought. All these guys that had 20-some wins and stuff like that, and Tank made them look bad or knocked them out. Now all of a sudden they never fought nobody, or they're nobodies. And I don't really agree with that when it comes to boxing. And it's a phrase that's really used and thrown around a lot. He ain't never fought nobody. That's really disrespectful to all the people that he's fought. So, back to top. Another thing you got to worry about is, and Jake Paul showed, your social media. You're not going to really be the quietest guy in the room and become a pro boxer. That's why you see all these beefs and people making noise. You got to see, they look at social media. When a boxer goes on social media and starts talking a lot of trash, people look at the views he's getting. How many views has he got? When a boxer goes to a promoter, trust me, he might look and say, how many followers does this guy have? Followers lead to tickets. You might not even have followers in your own neighborhood, but if you got a following on Instagram, which is worldwide, that might get you a fight sooner than later on TV. And you got to figure out whether you're ready. If you have an Instagram and you have a 0 posts, you're just using it to watch everybody else post, you need to start posting some of your videos, hitting the bags, hitting something. You got to put a question mark out there. People hit the bags, and you're going to find people to say, oh, he looks nice. Then you're going to find people to say, oh, man, he a bum. Then you go, right there, that's a question. That makes people say, I want to see for myself. Guess who's fighting at Rosecroft? Who? You know that guy that posts all the time, posts his sparring or posts him working on a bag and talking all that trash, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Hey, man, yeah, I'll go. It sparked the interest. You have to find a way to spark an interest. I don't care how good you are in the amateurs. I don't care how sharp you think you are. If you can't sell tickets and nobody will pay to see you fight and you don't have a following, it's going to be hard for you to just say, hey, I'm going to turn pro. When you first start out, most promoters would at least like you to sell 40 to 50 tickets. Say you sell 50 tickets and the tickets are 50 a piece. You know what I'm saying? You at least might get like the 2,500 or something like that, and you know, you at least want to be able to pay for your purse. And maybe somebody like, and your first purse might be $1,000. That'll cover your medicals, that'll cover some other stuff. So that comes in handy too. So you can sell 100 tickets. That's 5,000. You might cover your purse. You might cover the medicals for you and the guy, and a promoter's pretty much happy with you. You can sell $5,000 worth of tickets. I pay you $1,000. I pay your opponent $1,200. You know what I'm saying? I get the medicals done. He might even walk away with $700-800 profit, adding on to what he's doing. But at least he's taking care of that fight. And that's how promoters look at it per fight. They don't exactly look at it, how much am I going to make in the whole building. They'll break it down to per fight. They might say, man, I'd have made a profit if so-and-so could have sold more tickets. I'd have made a profit. You might have cost the promoter his profit. You know, he might have hoped he made $10,000 or $12,000 profit off a show. Profit is profit. As long as he doesn't lose, he's probably pretty much gonna be happy. I mean, at least satisfied. As long as he can walk away and say, I didn't lose. Now, when promoters start losing, they're gonna start looking for how I lost. Who didn't sell tickets? And that's where the drama begins. So, start building up your brand. You in high school, get people to come to Golden Gloves. Make some t-shirts. Get your teacher support. You know what I'm saying? Teachers, if you're in church, some guys go through their church. Some of the best ticket sellers are involved in church. And it could be because they want to sell more tickets, and it could be because they believe in the church that they're attending. Who knows? But guess what? They sell tickets. You have to find some type. It could be from your gyms. However you can sell tickets, that's what the promoter's looking for. There's probably more guys that can't fight and can outsell tickets that'll get on cards than talented dudes that can't sell they can't sell tickets, and they have trouble getting on people's cards. Why? You're talented. Guys want more money to fight you, but you can't sell tickets. You're not a ticket seller. If a promoter's building you, he at least wants you to be able to sell enough to pay your purse. The rest could be an investment, but if you can't sell enough to pay your purse and you're getting there, you know, it's going to be a hard time. So I'm just saying, have a plan. Saying I'm going pro, I don't know what you want to compare it to. It really has no value except for a dream and a coach. Just saying it has a way of reason a coach to invest in you. But if you can't sell tickets, trust me, it's going to be a hard pro road for you, unless you're willing to. If you can't sell tickets, you have to take challenges. That means you got to go up Pennsylvania and fight a dude from Philly. You got to go to New York and fight a dude from New York. You got to go to Virginia and fight a dude from Virginia. You might have to go to California. They'll fly you out there. You got the right connections. And fight a dude from California in front of his crowd. You got to be prepared to win. That's an opportunity. And that's all you'll ever get, trust me, from any promoter, is a guaranteed opportunity. I've seen times a promoter put somebody on the card, the two guys fight. One guy might have thought he got robbed, the promoter signed the winner. He won the fight. And it might not even been the fact that he won the fight. He might have won the fight plus he sold tickets. Trust me on this. Selling tickets is what you just don't think that your fight game is going to sell tickets. In our area, we have a venue called Rosecroft where a lot of pros start out. Tank was one of them. I remember him fighting in small venues at Rosecroft and stuff like that before he got his plug. His fighting skills helped him rise to the top, but he started out, he didn't believe me, he didn't just step on the stage making $20,000, $10,000 a fight. He started like everybody else did. He just made sure his opponents didn't finish their fights. And that sold his tickets. Where you have a lot of guys who, your style has to sell your tickets. I mean, bottom line. So if you think about going pro, remember, just don't think it's involved around boxing. You might get the notice through boxing. Somebody might say, man, this guy, he's sharp as I don't know what. I don't know if it's his attitude, nobody likes him. He can't sell tickets. And that's rare, but it happens. Trust me, it happens. A guy, I can fight his ass off, but promoters know he can't sell tickets. And unless you're going to sign with him and he's going to get some type of piece of you, some investment from you, because your fight skills are there, you're not going to really go pro. It's not going to be really successful. Like I said, skills pay the bills. And let's say exposure sells tickets. Entertainment sells tickets. All these guys beefing on the internet, you see them dapping them up when they in person, or some of them beefing for real. They're trying to sell tickets. And that's not to say, oh man, they faking, they still got to fight each other. They ain't going in and pity pat their way through a fight. People still remember that last fight. So they got to fight. Got to be entertainment. There's got to be something about you that's different from everybody else, or different from the average guy, that makes people want to come see. And that's what you got to think about before you talk about turning pro. Not, I'm 22 and I just want to turn pro because I'm 22. I hope you got something else besides the fact that you're getting old and don't want to fight amateur no more, because that's not a good reason to turn pro. Turning pro is a business, and you got to have a business mind when you turn pro. That's why a lot of guys get managers or somebody to talk the business side, because as a fighter, you should be ready to fight. Fight it, man. I'll fight him for free. That should be the attitude you have as a fighter. But if your manager's saying that, man, my guy will fight this guy for free, I think you better get some better management. Unless for some reason this is going to put you in a situation that's really going to better, you know what I'm saying? If he can take care, look, don't worry about it. If you can get this fight, I'll take care of what you would have made your person through sponsorship or something like that. Some way he better be in your ear replacing that money that you were supposed to get. Remember, it's called prize fight. And all fights are generated from tickets. That's how the bills are paid. Tickets, sponsorship, even sponsors. There's not a sponsor out there that's going to sponsor a guy who they look at and they like, this guy can't sell tickets. They want to be like, how many tickets can he sell? Now I'll be invested in him. So, one coach's opinion, just something to think about. If you're deciding to turn pro, if you're at that age you want to turn pro, have a plan. I'm out.